Okay, so today I'm going to tell you my experience and what I do to perceive more energy, right? Because body language can lie. People do lie with their body language. Just think about a psychopath. If you haven't experienced one, you probably have, you just haven't realized you have, okay? I've come across a lot of them. A lot. Okay? And psychopaths want to project how they're cute and innocent and they're not, a predator. Right? So they know how to deceive you with their body language. And a lot of people do. A lot of people do know how to deceive you with their body language. The very conscious ones that are aware of what they are projecting with their body can change it. And a psychopath is like a perfect example, okay? That's why a lot of females get got by a psychopath, and that's why a lot of people are deceived by psychopaths, because they're very aware of what they're projecting, of what they're showing you, right? So one of my encounters with the psychopath that I'm laughing because he didn't know. Obviously, he didn't know me, right? But he didn't think that I could see past all his show that he was trying to do. I know in this video I'm going to talk about what I do to perceive more energy, but even before I was doing these techniques, I still felt energy, because that feeling, that energetic feeling sensation is different from feeling emotions, right? Whenever I was a kid, I had a traumatic childhood, so I was disassociated. Like, I didn't understand why people got so bent out of shape of their emotions, because I didn't feel them like that. And I learned to read people's body language, and I learned to I perceived energy like automatically, not just from my past lives, but there's things that I've known that there's no way in hell like I could have known it. And it's not just from body language, because my mom's not a psychopath, but she was one of those people that presented herself a certain way in front of people, and then behind closed doors she was a completely different person. So that's another example. But I know the techniques psychopaths use, because like I've done them. Like, I've had to study facial expressions. I've had to study people's body language, but I've also I didn't even know about energy, I didn't have the word to place on what I was feeling. That instinct, that intuition, that pull, that is different from feeling emotions. It's different from feeling emotions. That's why a lot of people relate instinct with intuition, because it's that feeling of, oh, I should do this, oh, I should go here, or that moment where you're just like instinctively look up at the right moment, because you, like, your spidey senses are tingling, like something is just, you feel that something, that energy, and that's what you're feeling. So a lot of people are born with these like everyone's born with these abilities, okay? Our abilities may be different in like the clairs. Like I can hear things, I can see things. Kind of sounds like I'm schizophrenic, but it's not like that. I love them. I love crazy people. But yes. So this technique helped me develop.
Connect to source.
That's saying I need to charge my phone. This technique has helped my abilities develop more. As before, I was more intuitive and instinctual. Like before, I allowed myself to actually feel emotion, not to disassociate from my emotions. Right? But I've always had that knowing ability. I've always had, like, I knew things I shouldn't know. And now I work with, I mean, sometimes it's not even work because images will pop into my mind. I'll hear something, a song will like randomly play in my head, or, you know, it'll play at the store, these little signs and synchronicities that you should pay attention to. And I'm not an empath because I don't feel emotions like other people do. Like other people, and I don't feel like people's emotions. I feel their energy and I read their energy and I can perceive a lot about their life from their energy alone, not just their body language, not just the things that they're saying. Because like I said, perfect example is a psychopath, the one who's consciously projecting something that contradicts their energy. Okay? So what I do this technique throughout the day. I got it from this book, so I'm gonna read that part to you. Where attention goes, energy flows. That's Joe Dispenza. I'm gonna read to you different insights. So how you can perceive energy more, how you can work on developing your abilities if you want to. But I do want you to, because everything is energetic before it is physical. Everything is energy before it's material, you know? Non-physical and physical. Everything is first energy, okay? So working on the energy does manifest into your reality. A lot of people just want to work on their physical world and not their inner world. What is that quote? What you think about already exists in the invisible realms of your mind. And a lot of people don't perceive their thoughts as sending a signal out, but that's a signal that you're sending out. That's you projecting energy from your inner world into your outer world. So what I do throughout the day that I'm going to read to you, because I got it from this book, and then I'm also going to share with you like a few other things. So what I do is I ground myself. I do it from the base of my spine, like my tailbone, you know, and grow a root from, and in my imagination, because where you're imagining things, your attention, your energy is going, and it'll get stronger the more you do this, okay? And don't just do it to do it, because that doesn't help. Actually be there. And that's another thing that I'm gonna talk more about in the end. is developing your attention span, your awareness. So I ground myself first. I grow roots from my spine connected to the earth. And then I draw energy up from the fire, because I imagine fire underneath, like deep in the earth, you know. So I like form an energy ball in my mind. The image of like a comet just came to me, but it's kind of like that, like a comet, like a ball, and then it shoots up from the earth. The ball of fire, right? But when I'm just clearing my energy like I do throughout the day, it's white fire, okay? Because that is me clearing my energy. At first, my intention is to clear my energy, because your intention does matter. Because I use the same technique differently with my intention. It's the same thing, kind of the same thing while I'm visualizing, but the intention is differently, and I'll explain that in a second. But whenever I'm just clearing energy throughout the day, it's white, right? Bringing the fire from the earth. I know this sounds weird, but I don't care. Bringing that up and swirling it at the base of my spine, clearing the energy, and I go from chakra to chakra, right? And if you don't know about chakras, I'll read a passage from Dr. Joe Dispenza's book in a second. So I swirl the fire around my chakras all the way up my spine, right? Through my crown chakra, right? Up out of my head, and swirl the energy down my crown, down my third eye, throat chakra, heart chakra, you know, and so on. And just doing that a few times, right? And I'm gonna read to you, like, specifically, because there is, I don't really worry about my breath that much. Dr. Joe Dispenza, in his book, he emphasizes on breath, mainly because the spinal fluid in your spine, you know, your spinal fluid. But it's a great book. All of the ones I'm about to read are great books. That's why I keep them. But that's what I do. I just clear. She calls it a channel, like your spine. But like the roots is a part of your channel as well. So I clear my energy channel a lot throughout the day. And that's how I've been able to perceive more energy. And I don't even really, honestly, that's like the visualization that I do, because I know you can strengthen your visualization skills, okay? And they say it helps to have a clearer picture in your mind. But like when I just saw the comment in my mind, in my mind's eye, in my third eye, it was clear to me. I knew what it was. I knew exactly what it was. But I love reading, and reading, not just these books, but like I wrote a book. I can see things in my mind clear. It's real to me. That's a different story. So I clear my channel, and I don't work on visualization because I'm pretty good at it already. I don't like work on imagination, because I'm good at it already. If you want to work on that, turn the TV off, stop scrolling. Your mind will. And I feel like if you think about things and you're going into that scene that you're playing out in your mind, that's visualizing. But I don't know how your mind works. So I started doing this years ago, and crystals, I know people are like, oh, it's just a rock, but everything has energy to it. And my crystals, I feel them, right? I feel their energy. And sometimes it's like they talk to me, especially if they're around like another crystal they don't like. And that sounds crazy, but that's what I'm feeling. Like I'm feeling they're like yelling at me. Not now, because they're all positioned in a place. Besides my sun and moon crystal, they're not really compatible. They don't really like being over there, but I'm leaving them over there for a purpose. They're gonna like it, you know. Anyways, like I thought people with crystals were just crazy until I actually feel them, because I can perceive more energy now. I can feel more energy now. So I know this video's been long, but I'm gonna get into reading to you where I got this technique from. Okay, this is the Energy Codes by Dr. Sue Morter. Okay, and it's funny because the root, yeah. Okay, so here's how you do it. Contract the muscles at the base of your pelvic bowl and lift them toward your navel as if drawing energy up into the body from the earth below. You may know this as a Kegel exercise, or by how it feels to stop midstream when urinating. Don't worry if it takes you a few days or even weeks to master this. It will come. Once you practice contracting those muscles a few times and gotten a feel for it, squeeze them as tight as you can and then release by 1/2. Which I don't do this, honestly. I don't like squeeze my muscles for this purpose, you know? I visualize. I mean, sometimes when I'm, like I said, it depends on the intention that I have, but when I'm just clearing my energy, I don't squeeze. I don't like squeeze the muscles up. Ah, I think I lost my ring. Oh, something. I heard it. I heard some drop, yeah. Okay. Just saying, I don't do this and it still works. But once you've practiced contracting those muscles a few times and gotten a feel for it, squeeze them as tight as you can, then release them by 1/2. Hold it in place while taking several breaths in and out of the belly, not the chest. Breathing in the chest activates the fight or flight response due to the type of sympathetic nerve endings located in the upper lobes of the lung. By belly breathing, this activates healing and creativity due to the calming of the parasympathetic nerve endings. My earring is not going into place like it should. Whatever. Due to the nerve endings, as well as increasing the blood supply in the lungs, lower lobes. So if anything, practice belly breathing, because that will relax your nervous system. Like taking deep breaths. It's the simple things that like people ignore. So, like that breath that I just did, that was loud, that I felt that, you know, I felt that relax me, even just a little bit. This isn't, I just realized that this isn't the technique that I do. This is one of her like getting back into your body techniques. But the goal is to create awareness of being in your body, like focusing on your heart, focusing on deep breathing that puts you into your body instead of being so focused on your external world. Now give me a second, because she goes, yeah, I was right, this is it. But she goes into squeezing chakra by chakra. But she actually does leave out, and that's why I like this one, because it's simple for beginners. So she does the root chakra and then the heart chakra, right? Okay, so she's talking about squeezing the heart, like the muscles. Pull your pectoral muscles together and back towards your side. I have all this stuff highlighted, like I've actually been squeezing muscles and stuff. But throughout the day, I don't. Like, I just visualize, and it still helped me. Right? And then she's talking about constricting the throat. I don't constrict shit. I let that shit flow. So it's, which in the beginning, root chakra, heart chakra, throat chakra, third eye chakra, and then out above your head. I'm going to show you this picture. That's the channel. So you start here. I use fire and I swirl it through like my channel and release it, and then bring energy down, you know, and I still like vortex it. I swirled the fire. I visualize white whenever I'm just clearing my energy, like the fire is white. And I'm swirling it, you know, but I don't just do the root. I do the root, the navel, the solar plexus, the heart, because I've been doing this for a while. It's been a while. So if you're just beginning, I wouldn't worry about like what chakra corresponds. Like I have a whole I'm still learning about chakras and all of that. And there's meditations you can do to dive into one chakra, like chakra by chakra, you know. But this, I clear my energy. I use this technique throughout the day. I clear my energy, and that's my intention when I'm doing it. I'm clearing my energy, releasing the energy, bringing, I want to say new, but bringing energy into my body, regenerating, filling my cup up, you know. And I know my energy rejuvenates automatically, and I've gotten to the point where that's like my belief, you know. It's an automatic thing, especially when I'm not sending thoughts out. I'll get into that in a second, because another technique that doesn't even involve visualizing, doesn't even involve squeezing anything. I didn't know about this when I started years ago, right? It would have been nice to know, right? Because I've used this technique for years now. And then I just bought this book. I'm going to skip Dr. Joe Dispenza's book, but he goes into like the science. I mean, so does, they're both great books, okay? And as you can tell, I marked them. Right, he goes into the chakras too, and has pictures and stuff like that, right? And the science of it all. They're both great books, okay? But this technique has helped me a lot, and I just bought this book because pretty sure he just wrote this like last year. Okay, so even Neville Goddard teaches about like the I am presence, that awareness. So it's like meditating, having no thought, just being present, right? Not allowing any distractions of your thoughts to deter you, to take you out of that space, to bring you into another realm of your mind, okay? Right? So this technique has actually really helped on top of that one, because I've been doing that one for years. But there was just the question in the back of my mind of like, there has to be something simpler than like doing your chakras and this and that and the third. Like there has to be, because I feel like a lot of people don't know about chakras. Like I didn't know about chakras whenever I was a child, and I still had intuition. I still knew things I shouldn't have known, you know? But it depends on what you're trying to achieve with your energy, what you're trying to do. Like I feel the presence of my loved ones that have passed on, and angels, and I feel and I know what they say to me. But I don't like actively conversate throughout the day with spirits, right? I'm not a medium, but that's something that I've thought about developing, right? I just haven't. So clearing my energy, yes, I want my energy to be as clear. I want to be a clear channel as possible, so that was important to me. And clearing my mind to receive images, to receive guidance, and that was important to me as well. And having that peace that meditation brings. But meditating throughout the day there's a lot of different meditation techniques. I hope this is making sense so far, because a lot of people have complicated it, right? So, because there is so many techniques that you can do, like during meditation, you can do a chakra meditation. But meditation to me is going within and not having any thoughts. You're a blank space. And then from there you can create whatever you want. But remaining in that blank space, you can also receive images and receive thoughts, downloads, guidance, these things. That's why I said a lot of these things like has already happened to you. You just haven't perceived it as spiritual guidance. You haven't perceived it as a psychic gift. You haven't perceived it as communication from the invisible realms, from the spirit realms. So I learned clearing my energy first and bringing energy in, like new revitalized healing energy in my body. And I learned that first, and that technique I did for years, and it still helped, right? And meditating, even like 10 minutes here and there throughout the day, like actively sitting down and meditating, clearing, that helped. It did, because my thoughts were so fast that I would think that I didn't even know what I thought, and I was on to the next thought. ADHD at its finest. I was gone. I was gone. So I did that for years, and then I knew that there was something simpler that people can do. And I don't think it was last year that he came out with this book. I feel like I read this a few times since he's came out with it, but it's remaining in that pure awareness state. Conscious from moment to moment. You're here with me right now. You're not, oh, I have to clean in like 10 minutes. Oh, I have to pick up the children at 4 o'clock. Oh, I want to watch TV. I gotta do this, and I have to do this, and that shit's there. What is happening right now? And right now you're watching this. So right now, the present moment, which I just read like the Power of Now a few months ago. And I just ordered it actually because I read it on Libby, but I'm gonna read to you, excuse me. Access superconsciousness. The key to getting the most out of this book is to repeatedly perform, he gives 24-hour meditation and exercises, self-mastery, and timeless truth teachings. Not only perform them with sincere devotion and dedication, but embody them. Develop a daily practice where you can perform one specific meditation multiple times a day for an entire week. So if you're not a great visualizer, if you're not great at holding your attention to one thing, work on that. And I'm gonna read to you how to do that in a second. Because my awareness, I've been pretty aware for a long time. Like my awareness is on point, okay? And I didn't have an issue with my attention span. Well, I mean, I did, but not in like the aspect of like scrolling, and I had the attention span of like, I would see something like, hey, look, a squirrel. And then like, then jump back onto like the conversation. I've done that before. So, because I mean, life is just so distracting. So keeping yourself focused is very important. But not having any thoughts and allowing energy and life. Because when you're not thinking, when you're not sending that energy out, you're constantly receiving energy. You're constantly, your energy rejuvenates automatically. Your energy regenerates automatically. Like your body heals itself automatically. You don't have to tell your body to do it. And that's the same with your energy, obviously, because it does it automatically. It's just you, not you, but like your thoughts, where your mind is going, is taking your energy, it's taking your attention, it's taking that life force from you. So whenever you stop all that, stop all the nonsense and the stories and the thoughts and the stress and all that going on in your head, and you can do this throughout the day, because I didn't start off doing it throughout the day. I started off doing it 10 minutes at a time, which it helped. I did it like 10 minutes at a time, 3 times a day. I was committed, okay? But like now doing it, how he explains in this book is so much simpler, and I fucking love it. I love it. That's why I'm going to share it with you. I'm probably going to say you can skip ahead to this point, but I feel like context matters, because I've experienced a lot of things, and I just explained like how I did it. But this is how you can do it if you're just starting from nothing. You don't do chakras, you don't visualize shit, you don't move energy with your mind, you don't, like, I can heal. I just healed a cat a few months ago, right? And I healed that's why I'm saying different intentions. Different intentions, different techniques. It's all about what you are trying to accomplish. So I love this technique above all the other ones, honestly, even with intention, because coming from, I'm gonna mark down like 27 minutes. It's already been that long. 37. My desk has a whiteboard at the bottom of it, because that's how I stay focused too. I'll just write it down, continue what I'm doing, okay? But this technique is just pushing like thoughts aside. I don't even know if it's in this book, or if I bought all 3 of his books, okay? But telling your thoughts, I don't know, and then just like sending them away. I don't care, sending them away. Not an issue, sending it away. I mean, I allow God's plan to unfold into my life, but I think it's maybe in his first book, he says, thy will, not my will. That's like surrendering to the unknown, right? So master one thing, depending on where you're at. If you're a beginner, I recommend mastering going to that space of no thought, because it definitely helps. But if you're more into visualizing and chakras, Dr. Sue Morter and Joe Dispenza. I think Dr. Sue Morter has a simpler technique, because Joe Dispenza, he spends some time on those chakras, right? Yes. Which, I mean, I understand and I can do now, but in the beginning, I couldn't. Just being honest, I couldn't in the beginning. What are you talking? You want me to do what and remember this shit and not like have to constantly read it? Can you simplify it? Yes. Don't see these meditations as something to get through and done. Self-mastery is not to be approached as something to check off from your to-do list. Refrain from letting your egoic mind turn it into a race or an accomplishment. Zero in on surrendering to the process, not any fixation for results. Okay? I'm trying to think of like a time frame that I could give you. Because whenever I sat down for 10 minutes every single day, and you don't have to sit down. That's the point that I'm getting to. You can just push thoughts away throughout the day. You can remain in that no thought space, that conscious awareness, that moment-to-moment awareness of what you're doing, and have that focus. You can do that throughout the day, and that has helped me tremendously, right? Bringing myself back from my thoughts, bringing myself back from the external world and into myself has really helped me a lot. Finding that peace, having that peace only like 10 minutes 3 times a day, it wasn't enough, okay? But now I feel so much better, right? Yeah, I'm gonna read the exercise to it. And on the sticky note, it says, the power of now, expand the spaces between your thoughts. Because in that book, I remember, even though I just read it like a few months ago, I really liked that. That just like shifted something for me. Even though I've been doing this for years, that's what I'm saying. It's like a never-ending process of growing. But that's what you do. You can acknowledge that you had a thought and then just remain aware. And sure, a thought will pop up and then just let it go. And just be like, I don't know, I don't care. That's RJ Spina's technique. Highly recommend you reading his book, but I'm going to share the exercise with you. Recognize awareness within and beyond time. Stop thinking. Meditate using any of my instantaneous meditation techniques. Realize that in full presence, I don't know why I can't talk today. I'm supposed to be doing bulk recordings. Whoops. Anyways, okay. Focusing. Realize that in full presence, complete beingness here and now, that you are always aware of your unsullied awareness. That is the concurrent within space, time, and outside of it all at once. The little you is the bigger you, and vice versa. Fall in love with this knowingness, and live this way. Like once you recognize that moment of I am present, I am here with myself right now, I'm here. You recognize it throughout the day. Whenever you're not having thoughts and distractions, you recognize that shit throughout the day. I say shit, but you know, I do swear. It is your belief in the authenticity of the thought, your identification to it, that gives it sway and gives it power over your consciousness and your body of energy. So I know it sounds so simple to just not think, and you're not an idiot when you just not think. Like I said, you might not receive images, sounds, communication. You might not receive it at first, but stick with it. I mean, why wouldn't you want to feel the presence of yourself, the presence of peace, that stillness and quietness that's always within yourself, that's always there for you to feel? You have access to peace right now. And RJ Spina really helped me seal that in my mind after all these years of meditating, sitting down. I mean, I got his book pretty much as soon as it came out, this book. And I ordered his, the first two as well with this one. But meditate like that throughout the day. If you're just beginning, meditate like that throughout the day. Be aware moment to moment. Don't even give your thoughts any sway over your energy. Just tell yourself, tell that thought, I don't know, I don't care. Or if you're stressing about a situation, let it go. Say thy will instead of my will. Everything is happening for you. The world is not against you. The circumstances that you have is trying to teach you something, is trying to get you to realize something, or you're here for a reason. The things that have happened for a reason. So don't stress them. And I know I've had to tell myself that a lot this past year, if I'm being honest. I've had to tell myself that a lot this past year because there was things that I planned, and you know, whenever we make plans, God bless, you know that quote. But I just, thy will, even though it's something, it's, you know, obviously we only get upset about the things that we care about. I mean, most of us. But that technique right there, just having no thoughts and consciously being aware moment by moment, has been extremely helpful. And whenever I have a moment, like after this video, even during this video, I'll swirl the energy and bring, usually I start out off at like the base, but sometimes I will start at the top. So I'm literally imagining the swirling of fire, of white, coming, you know, down my crown chakra, which is just down the top of your head, my third eye, my throat, my heart, my solar plexus, my navel, and out my spine, down into the earth, clearing. And then I'll bring it back up, right? Which I'm not gonna go through the entire, but I do that throughout the day too. I consciously clear my energy throughout the day. And I've just gotten so used to doing it, honestly, after all these years. But I don't sit down and meditate anymore. Like for 10 minutes, 10, 20 minutes at a time, I don't do that anymore. Unless I'm like doing, which I'll do some of these meditations, like once, twice a month, like sitting down, meditation, going. Somewhere else. Okay. And I'll also, Brian Scott has a lot of good meditations. But I do those like once, twice a month. But not thinking, being aware moment to moment, the power of now. But it's really the power of your energy, your presence, the consciousness, life force, the peace that you always have access to, that no matter what is going on in your life, you always have access to that. And expanding on that, on the spaces between my thoughts, and allowing my energy to automatically regenerate, restore, has been so helpful. And that's brought me a sense of peace that meditating just 10 minutes 3 times a day hasn't done for me. It brought me peace for those 10 minutes here and there, and I looked forward to those 10 minutes at night, you know? But day to day, moment to moment, that's brought me peace throughout the day, the entire day. So I hope this made sense to you. I hope this helped you. I mean, I know it helps. I know it does help. But that's how I've perceived and brought more, like my psychic abilities, that's how I've developed them more. It's just, it naturally comes to you. It will naturally come to you. If you allow it to. Like, don't try so hard. Just allow it to naturally come to you. That's why I said I did the clearing energy, Dr. Sue Morter's clearing energy. I did that one first. The meditating 10 minutes a day. I mean, at first I did it like once a day, but I did start doing it more often. Got those numbers up there. And that helped. That was just how I did it, and that really did help. Cindy Dale, her books are really good too. But that's how I started. But if I knew this technique like years ago, yes, I feel like it would have unfolded slightly different, but that's okay because everything unfolds. It's all divine timing, and I just, thy will, not my will. I'm not trying to figure all that shit out right now. That's not my job, okay? So I hope this helped you. This video was way longer than I expected it to be, but that's been my experience, okay? And then I gave you a technique for you to try. It's not my own technique, right? It's kind of combining RJ Spina's and Eckhart Tolle, his technique. But this is just my experience, or that was my experience, and I still do like the clearing, because I like just intentionally clearing, even though I know I guess it's out of habit now. I just intentionally clear my energy, and I do chakra, like an individual chakra session at night, but that's intentionally clearing my chakras out and intentionally connecting to spirit, to my guides. Sometimes I don't shift and talk to them before I go to bed. I do that in the morning, but I don't do like a chakra clearing in the morning. I just clear my energy. Like I don't swirl fire, red fire, and then clear that. I don't clear with orange fire for my, navel, and yellow for the solar plexus. And I don't do all that during the day. I do that shit right before bed, okay? I do that only before I go to bed, clearing my chakras like that. Spending time individually clearing them out with the color and everything. I do that before bed. But I clear my energy with light. It's usually fire. I do that throughout the day. I do that, first thing in the morning, and I'll journal, connect to spirit first thing in the morning. And it helps to have a routine to do it. It helps to have reminders. You can set reminders on your phone, but it's definitely helpful to do it throughout the day. Wear a bracelet. This isn't my reminder for clearing my energy. I actually have toe rings. Because I don't like anything on my feet. So toe rings have given me, I can't not feel that on my feet. So I've been wearing toe rings for a while now. Just having that reminder to clear my energy. Because like I said, I can remain moment by moment with no thought for a while now, and you build up to it. It doesn't all have to happen right now. You build up to it. So how can it think of ways how you can implement this into your life? Because otherwise, I don't know why you watched this video. Think about how you can implement this into your life. Think about what technique you want to start doing to perceive more energy, to feel more energy. Like I said, without thought, you automatically rejuvenate your energy. Your energy is just going to all these different places because you're thinking about work, you're thinking about your kids, you're thinking about your husband, you're thinking about your mom, you're thinking about your dad, you're thinking about this person that died, you're thinking all the shit that people think about. And like I said, I've been there. I understand completely, but you're giving all your energy away to all of these different subjects. And when you come back and just be present with yourself, focus on your belly breathing if you need to, put your hand over your heart, right? And that just reminded me of the RJ Spina technique. But imagine that you shrink down into your heart. That you go within your heart. And then from you being inside your heart, just imagine that you're in your heart right now. And you touch your hand like this. This is what you're doing. And that's one of his techniques to open your heart chakra, and to connect with yourself. That was kind of random. It kind of just popped into my mind. But that's the thing. That was just something that I know someone needed, because clearly it wasn't intentional. That was just me receiving, hey, someone needs to hear that. But you can do that too. And put your hand over your heart and just remain right here with yourself. Remain with yourself. And I really don't do this, but it feels nice, So think about how you can implement whatever technique you feel called to do. Start doing them. Set reminders if you need to. Have weird things like toe rings if you need to, or a ring. I know Suzanne Giesman says that she switches her rings around as a reminder. I don't know if she said that lately, but I remember a while ago she said that's something that she does. So what can you do to really stay aware, stay focused, stay present, moment by moment? Have that reminder. And if you want to start working with chakras, I recommend Dr. Sue Morter's if you don't have like an acquired attention span. But if you do, then move on to Dr. Joe Dispenza's, because his is very in-depth and it's very helpful. Yes, you get better with time. Well, the more times you do it. It's not like in 20 years. No, the more times you do it. Like I said, going from 10 minutes a day, like even 3 times a day, to now, to what I do now. Well, going from, you know, those 10 minutes to shifting to meditating, being from that like no thought space throughout the day, going back to that as much as I can, because I do work, I do learn, I do other things than that, but that's been extremely helpful. So let me know if this helped you. Thank you for sticking around for an hour and listening to me ramble, and it's all connected. Energy doesn't lie. People's body language definitely can, and people will deceive you with their body language. But energy doesn't lie. So I'm going to end it on that note. Have a wonderful, magical day.